Top 5 secret credit hacks banks exposed to rich kids only. A private banker leaked the exact credit-building playbook wealthy families use for their 18-year-olds. And when I saw it, I genuinely got angry. Not because the strategies are complicated, not because they require connections. I got angry because these are simple moves that take maybe 30 minutes each, but nobody teaches them to regular people. One technique alone can add 80 to 100 points to your credit score in under 6 months. Another one lets you essentially borrow your parents' perfect credit history overnight. And the craziest part? Banks actually want you to do these things. They just pray you never figure them out. Here's how I got this information. Last year, I met a guy at a finance conference who spent 11 years as a private banker for ultra-high net worth families in Manhattan. We're talking clients with 8 and 9 figures. His entire job was optimizing the financial lives of their children. Setting up trust funds, sure, but more importantly, engineering perfect credit profiles before these kids even graduated high school. He told me something that stuck with me. He said the wealthy don't have better credit because they have more money. They have better credit because they know the rules of a game everyone else doesn't even realize exists. Over the next 12 minutes, I'm going to hand you that exact playbook. 5 strategies that wealthy families guard like trade secrets. By the end, you'll know how to build an 800-plus credit score faster than you thought possible. Why the advice your parents gave you about credit is probably destroying your score, and the one move that rich kids make at 18 that gives them a 15-year head start on everyone else. That last one? It's the reason I almost threw my laptop when I learned about it. Let's start with authorized user piggybacking. This is strategy number 1, and it's the closest thing to a legal cheat code in personal finance. Here's how it works. When you're added as an authorized user on someone else's credit card, their entire payment history for that card gets copied onto your credit report. Their age of account, their payment history, their credit utilization, all of it transferred to you instantly. A 22-year-old with 0 credit history can wake up tomorrow with a credit report showing 15 years of perfect payments. This is what wealthy parents do for their kids the moment they turn 18, sometimes earlier. I spoke with a financial advisor in Chicago who told me about a client family that adds their children as authorized users at age 16. By the time those kids apply for their first apartment at 22, they have credit scores above 780. They qualify for the lowest interest rates on car loans. They get approved for premium credit cards with massive sign-up bonuses. Meanwhile, their roommate who comes from a normal family is stuck with a secured credit card and a 640 score, paying hundreds more in interest every single year. Here's what makes this unfair. You don't even need to possess the physical card. The account holder can add you, cut up the card that arrives in your name, and you still get the full credit benefit. Your parents can do this. Your grandparents can do this. Even a trusted aunt or uncle with great credit can do this. The catch? The account needs to have a low utilization rate, ideally under 10%, a long history, and perfect payment records. One missed payment on their end tanks your score too. But here's something most people don't realize, and this matters if you don't have family with perfect credit. There are actually companies that connect you with strangers who will add you as an authorized user for a fee. It's called trade line renting. Prices range from $150 to over $1,000 depending on the age and limit of the account. Is it worth it? I'll tell you exactly when it makes sense and when it's a waste of money. But first, you need to understand why banks keep the next strategy so quiet. Strategy number 2 is credit limit manipulation. And this one made me realize how backwards most credit advice really is. You've probably heard that you should never ask for a credit limit increase because it triggers a hard inquiry and hurts your score. That advice is technically true and completely useless. Here's what wealthy families actually do. They request credit limit increases strategically, specifically from banks that only do soft pulls for increase requests. A soft pull doesn't affect your score at all. It's invisible. The banks that do soft pulls for credit limit increases include Capital One, American Express, and Discover. Chase and Bank of America typically do hard pulls, so you avoid requesting from them. Why does this matter so much? Because your credit utilization, the percentage of available credit you're actually using, accounts for roughly 30% of your entire score. If you have a $1,000 limit and you spend $300, that's 30% utilization. But if you get your limit raised to $5,000 and spend the same $300, suddenly you're at 6% utilization. Your score jumps without you changing any spending habits. A former wealth manager I interviewed told me about a client's son who had 3 credit cards with a combined $8,000 limit. Over 18 months, they systematically requested increases from soft pull banks every 6 months. His total available credit went from $8,000 to $47,000. His utilization dropped from 22% to under 4%. His score increased by 94 points without paying off a single extra dollar of debt. Here's the exact playbook. Every 6 months, call Capital One and American Express. Request a credit limit increase. When they ask why, say your income increased or you want the higher limit for emergencies. That's it. 6 months later, do it again. After 2 years, you'll have tripled or quadrupled your available credit, and your utilization will look immaculate. The wealthy do this automatically. Their private bankers handle it. You have to be intentional about it. Strategy number 3 is what I call invisible debt optimization, and this is where rich families separate themselves permanently. See, most people think carrying a small balance shows you can handle debt responsibly. That's one of the most expensive myths in personal finance. Wealthy families teach their kids the opposite. Pay your statement balance in full every single month, but strategically time when that payment hits. Here's why timing matters. Credit card companies report your balance to the credit bureaus once per month, usually on your statement closing date. If you made $2,000 in purchases but paid it off 2 days after the statement closes, the bureaus see a $2,000 balance. Your utilization looks high even though you paid in full. The hack? Pay down your balance 2 to 3 days before your statement closes. When the bureau gets the return, they see a near zero balance. Your utilization looks pristine. Your score stays maximized. A 24-year-old entrepreneur I know learned this from his father, who runs a mid-size investment firm. He sets calendar reminders for 3 days before each statement close. He pays everything down to under $20. His credit score hasn't dipped below 8 and 10 in 4 years, even though he runs $15,000 or more through his cards monthly for business expenses. Now here's where this gets interesting. If you're building content about finance, or any topic really, the biggest bottleneck is usually production time. I've been using a tool called 11 Labs to create voiceovers for some projects. And honestly, the AI voice quality is scary good now. If you're a creator who wants to scale your output without recording everything yourself, it's worth checking out. Link is in the description if you're curious. If you're finding this valuable and want more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe. I drop one of these every single day at 8 a.m., and the algorithm buries channels people don't subscribe to, so it genuinely helps. Strategy number 4 is something you can do in the next 20 minutes. It's called rapid rescoring through dispute optimization. Here's the reality. Your credit report probably has errors. Studies show that 1 in 5 credit reports contains a mistake that could affect your score. Wealthy families have their financial advisors audit their children's credit reports quarterly. They catch errors fast and dispute them immediately. You're going to do a free version of this right now. Go to annualcreditreport.com. Pull your reports from all three bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Look for accounts you don't recognize, incorrect late payments, wrong credit limits, or duplicate accounts. If you find an error, dispute it directly through the Bureau's website. By law, they have 30 days to investigate. If they can't verify the negative information, they must remove it. I know someone who found a collections account for $340 that wasn't even hers. Some medical bill from a state she'd never lived in. One dispute letter later, it was removed. Her score jumped 67 points in 5 weeks. The rich don't have better credit because they have fewer mistakes on their reports. They have better credit because they actually check. Strategy number 5 is the one that made me genuinely upset when I learned about it. It's called credit account age preservation, and it's the reason wealthy kids have a permanent advantage. The average age of your credit accounts matters enormously. It's about 15% of your score. This is why most financial advice tells you to never close old credit cards, even ones you don't use. But here's what that advice misses. Wealthy families don't just keep old accounts open. They strategically open new accounts only when it makes mathematical sense. They use something I call the age impact formula. Before opening any new credit account, they calculate how much it will drop their average age. If the average age drops below a certain threshold, they wait. Let me give you a real example. Say you have 3 credit cards. One is 8 years old, one is 4 years old, one is 2 years old. Your average age is 4.67 years. If you open a new card, your average age drops to 3.5 years. That's a meaningful hit to your score. Wealthy families teach their kids to batch their applications. Open new accounts within the same month so you only take one age hit instead of multiple hits spread across the year. Then, don't open anything new for at least 12 to 18 months. Let the average age recover. The person who opens one new card every few months because they want the sign-up bonus is destroying their average age over and over. The wealthy open 3 cards in 1 month, grab all the bonuses, then go radio silent for 2 years. Same bonuses, fraction of the score damage. Now let me give you the accelerated version, because everything I just taught you works 10 times better